guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to do a 6-month analysis, or how we did our 6-month analysis. So let's go ahead and write that out. So a lot of people will ask us, or ask me rather, how do we come up with the numbers that we've come up with, and how do we come up with the budget for this or the budget for that? And you guys have to realize that your numbers, my numbers, everyone else out there, our numbers are going to be completely different. My rent is going to be different from yours. I may be renting, you may have a mortgage. My grocery budget is going to be different because there are two of us. And all of that is, I feel like, it's kind of like relative. That's not really what's important. What's important is that you create a budget that works for you. So, whenever we did our 6-month analysis, we did this back in like May or so to prepare for June. But let's say you're trying to prepare for the new year. So what you're going to want to do is go back 6 months to see what you have been spending your money on. And so we're not going to do December. Let's say December was just a high, month for expenses, and November may have even been one too. So let's just do October, September, August, July, June, and May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go back 6 months to see what our spending was like and what was going on with our spending. So let's say we're going to do, what do you guys want to do? You want to do restaurants? Let's do, let's do food in general. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to pull all of your credit card statements if you have credit cards. If you don't, obviously you're not going to have any credit card statements to pull. You're going to want to pull your bank statements, any statements or receipts or anything like that that you have. If you use cash and you don't have the receipts to show for those for 6 months, which I feel like is probably, going to be the case, you're not going to have all of those receipts, then, you're just not going to have, like a really, really accurate depiction of your spending. But let's say you pulled your bank statements and your credit card statements and you tallied up the amount that you spent on food in general for the month of October. And let's say it was $400. Let's say you did the same for September. Again, you're pulling your bank statements, you're going through, you're seeing, writing down all of the expenses for McDonald's, all of the expenses, transactions for Walmart, for Aldi, all of that. You're adding all of that up and tallying that all up. I'm not going to do that here, obviously. But let's say September you spent $500. Let's say August you spent $300. July you spent $450. June you spent $500. And May you spent $500. So basically what you're going to do is just take the average of all of that. So that would be $400 plus $500 plus $300 plus $450. Plus 500 plus 500 divided by 6, which would give you a total of $440, because I like to use rounded numbers. So this is going to be the number that you can use for food going into January as you're setting up your January budget. So your January food budget is going to be $440. Now, you can also split that up as you're doing your analysis. You can do what you spent for food or for restaurants. You can do what you spent for groceries. So you can split that up. So maybe you don't lump all of your food budget together like us, or sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Maybe you want to have one for restaurants and one for groceries. You can totally split that up. You'll just have to do 2 separate analyses, of course. So that's how that works, and this is how you can just get started. And another thing that you can do is, say you're trying to set up your budget for January, your food budget. You can go back to, let's say, October. Like I said, maybe not November or December, but you can go back to October. You can see what you spent in October, and then you can go with that. So as you can see, if you wanted to do, a 1-month analysis, you could take the $400 for October. And keep in mind that just because you're giving yourself $440 for food or $400 for food, that doesn't mean you have to spend all of it, because for us, as we do our budgets, our goal is always to decrease expenses. You know, it's not like we always succeed. We do fail at times, especially in that daggone restaurants category. I mean, it's not quite funny now, you know, once I really look at what we've spent on restaurants at the end of the month. But that restaurants category, I don't even know what to say. But anyway, just because you're giving yourself $440 doesn't mean you have to spend the $440, or just because you're giving yourself $400 doesn't mean you have to spend the $400. You could, what I was saying before I got sidetracked is the goal is for us is to always decrease expenses and increase income and kind of just do better than what we did the month before. So if you're starting out with $440, that doesn't mean you can't shoot for $400. You might have to go to Aldi if you're used to shopping at Publix or Whole Foods. You might explore some other options. If you're starting out with $400, you might try to, you know, just try to stay under $400. You don't have to use up the $400. Again, you might have to start couponing or going to cheaper stores, or, you know, just looking for deals and stuff. So when you're setting your budget, especially when you're first starting out, know that it's going to take you a few months, 3-4 months to kind of get into the swing of things. You might go over $440. You might be at $500, but at least you are tracking your expenses and you're trying to do better, and you're just being diligent and, you know, telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So, you know, you might be over. It's fine. You just need to get into the swing of things. You're not going to be perfect, especially at budgeting, you know, once you start out. So anyway, 6-month analysis, go back 6 months, see what the average was for your spending, shoot for that number going into the, you know, the new month. I know a lot of you guys are starting out budgeting in January. And then, you know, go with whatever that number is, or you can do a 1-month analysis and go back to the previous month and see what you spent then, and stick to that number, because if you spent $400 on food 1 month, you can certainly do it again. Or if you spent $500, obviously this, you know, the 500s are a little bit up, but, you know, if you spent this amount or whatever, you know that you can, you know, get away with doing that. You might even just take the 300 budget and try to shoot for that. You know, it's all about just trying to get a feel for things. And you can do this for other categories. Like I said, if you want to split them, but, you know, split up the food and do restaurants, groceries, you can do household items. It's all about putting a budget in place and then just working to try to decrease that budget. So, you know, if you do $200 for household items, which we do $30 a month for 2 of us. So I don't know how this might work for some people. I feel like that would be excessive, but I'm not here to put my judgmental ways into this whole video. But all I'm saying is, if you're doing $200 for a household, you know, go with the $200. If after you've done your analysis, you came up with an average of $200, try to do better. Again, we only spend $30, and I feel like we buy relatively normal stuff. We buy, you know, toilet paper and paper towels and deodorant and stuff like that as we need it, and we only spend about $30 or $35 a month. So I have faith that people can get their amounts down. But if you can't do better than $200, it's okay. Again, all you're doing with your budget is telling your money where to go. But again, if you do $200 for household items and you just absolutely can't get that down, then that's okay too. At least you are setting up your budget and you're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I know a lot of you guys have shared with me that you're trying to stop living paycheck to paycheck going into the new year. And I just wanted to do this for you guys. Keep in mind, when I'm doing my budget on YouTube or whenever I'm showing you guys things, that does not mean your numbers are going to look the same. So if my husband and I, if the both of us can get away with $200 for groceries each month, if you have a family of 2, maybe it's you and your spouse, and you guys can't seem to get under $200, obviously actively keep trying, but it's okay if your budget is higher than mine. If you have a family of 4, again, they say, you know, you should shoot for $100 a month, but if that's not working out per person, but if that's not really working out for you, then that's okay. You just need to worry about setting up your budget in the beginning. Trust me, it will get better. If you stick with it, you will find more ways to be frugal, especially if you're trying to pay off debt or if you're trying to save. You're going to try and learn different ways and different methods to be better with your money and be more intentional with your money. But I just wanted to show you guys this. You can try this and, you know, see if it will work for you. I'd say, this is what we did. So just try this, see if it works. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Everything isn't going to work for everyone. But I just wanted to give you guys some kind of direction and just share with you guys what we did. Of course, I always share, our experience. I don't come on here talking about stuff that, I've never tried or anything like that. So, or if I do say it, I'll tell you that I've never tried it. But we totally did a 6-month analysis for different categories. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.